Hello, everyone. This is another Yesshift News Desk edition. I'm Steven Schinder, and there has been a lot of stuff, a lot of news of the last couple weeks since the last time I've done this. So, full disclosure, I have a couple meetings coming up, so I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as possible. So, if I seem to be speeding through some stuff, then now you know why. But first off, on this list that I have here, uh, something I didn't know prior to the previous News Desk edition is the release of another Yes related book titled Yes Indeed Tales from Yes without Jon Anderson. And this is written by Preston Fraser. I've seen his posts about Yes songs now and then. And this actually came out a day after the 45th anniversary of Drama's release, so I kind of wonder if that was intentional. But yeah, niche subject matter. Books like Chris Welsh's Close to the Edge only went up to like the mid 2000s, and you do have the Benoit David and John Davison eras touched on a bit in the Stephen Lamb every album, every song Yes book, because touching on the songs from those albums from those eras. But yeah, this seems like it touches on the drama period and then the Benoit David and John Davison period. So I quite like that. It's something unique, something that we don't necessarily get that much of when it comes to Yes reading materials. Of course, at least in this type of book, you of course have tour books, and those are always great. All right, next up, Roger Dean. I touched a bit of the Roger Dean Trading Boundaries Q&A that was live streamed earlier this month, where he talked about AI and some other art-related topics. So go check that out if you have not already. And something surprising that happened recently is in a Netflix documentary about Charlie Sheen, the Yes song Leave It appeared. So that was within the first several minutes of the documentary. I've not watched the whole thing. I don't really have plans to, but it did kind of remind me of Leave It appearing at the beginning of the Yes Years documentary. And of course, there's also the Making of Leave It documentary. So maybe they should use them more documentaries. I don't know. But yeah, quite a surprise there, and kind of refreshing that's not the typical, roundabout and Oh Nerve Lonely Heart inclusion in other media. All right. So next month is apparently something called Rocktober, and Rhino, at least this is what I heard on Yes Music Podcast. They talked about this in more detail, so they'll have some info on this, but there's a vinyl re-release of 90125 and I think Big Generator as well. I kind of wish I'd known about this before the previous News Desk episode, which was actually on 90125 day. That would have been kind of nice, but alas. So yeah, check out Kevin and Mark's discussion on that. I think that episode came out a couple weeks ago now. And another thing happening in October from the 9th to the 12th is Progstock. So we have a little commercial here, actually. Let's see, let me just load it up, and it's about a minute long, so here we go.
Experience Progstock, the American Northeast's only international progressive rock festival. From October 9th through October 12th, your favorite progressive rock artists up close and truly personal. This year, you'll experience I.O. Earth and the Orchestra of Sound and Emotion, Pattern-Seeking Animals, Marillion's Steve Hogarth in his first ever U.S. solo appearance, special one-of-a-kind performances by Melanie Mao and Martin Schnella, We Came From Space, Rachel Flowers, Points North, Fun Funhouse Mirrors, Peter Jones of Camel, Discipline, Flaming Row, Dave Bainbridge and Sally Manier, Mike Keneally and Beer for Dolphins, Kate Highnote Trio, The Siberium, and for the first time as Saren Gazer, Saga's Michael Sadler with his son, Saren. Passes to Progstock are going fast and are still on sale now at progstock.com. Get your Progstock 2025 passes right now at progstock.com.
You heard them, folks. So that takes place in Rutherford, New Jersey. So if you can make it there, try to make it. And if you can't, there's a live stream option for some of the events there, at least some of the events. I was looking at the list on Stage It, so I'm gonna have to see which ones I'll be able to watch. But yeah, and check out our interview with the organizers. I think that was a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. Talking about Progstock and all the different artists who are there. So check that out in our backlog when you get the chance. You'll also notice Derek Schulman of Gentle Giant was part of that roster. And of course, he has his upcoming memoir, Giant Steps. That book has actually been delayed due to a supply chain issue. That just got announced this week. So in the UK, it's coming out November 14th. And in the North America, it's coming out December 2nd. But, Derek is still going to do the book-related events that he's doing. We scheduled to have him on September 25th at noon Pacific here on Yesshift. So that'll be a great conversation. And this book is really worth the reading. Y'all have got to check it out. All right. So next thing on this list, over on the Alan White Facebook page, they shared an illustration by Klaus Vormann featuring Yoko Ono, Dan Richter, Alan White, Klaus Vormann, Eric Clapton, and John Lennon rehearsing for the first time the songs they would all play that evening on board the plane to Toronto, September 13th, 1969. And I believe this was posted on the anniversary of that. So it's a nice looking illustration. It's like in black and white. Check it out on the Alan White Facebook page when you get the chance. Now, speaking of drummers, yesterday, today being September 18th, at least in my time zone, we had a Drum Talk TV Brilliance fan Q&A with Roger Earl, drummer of Foghat, and Paul, an attendee there. He actually asked Roger about, the story that he replaced Bill Bruford and Savoy Brown back in the late 60s. I believe this would have been pre-Yes. And so Roger had this humorous story about what may have happened there, how things may have went down. So that Q&A can be viewed by premium members of drumtalktvbrilliance.com. So check that out if that interests you. It's a great story and great conversation with Roger Earl. He's had a lot to say about Foghat and about music. Is really great. But speaking of Bill Bruford, he was recently on the Weird Music podcast, and one of the questions he was asked, which I was very surprised that this was even a question, and the first one in the interview, which was, does Bill Bruford hate Robert Fripp? And it was done in a humorous fashion, not like a serious fashion, but yeah, no, Bill, respects Robert Fripp, and, he talked about working with him, and, he talked about King Crimson and being a drummer and the Pete Roth trio. So, it was a really great conversation to watch. And over on his YouTube channel is actually a video from this past July, which is an excerpt from How Insensitive over at a Pete Roth trio show. And I'm glad that we got to see footage of this. There's another video coming out on his YouTube channel tomorrow morning called Summertime. So that'll be another Pete Roth trio performance from the looks of it, if the thumbnail is anything to go by. But yeah, I really liked this clip. Bill starts off with something relatively simple, but then it escalates and he does this like speedy motion with the drumsticks, and he's drumming at a good speed, and it's really cool to see that he's still got it. And next up, it might be called the Make Weird Music Podcast. I don't know. It's pretty easy to find on YouTube. But Steve Howe has also been doing interviews centered around portraits of Bob Dylan and Natural Timbre being re-released. And that's how he pronounced it generally. Of course, Dad and I reviewed both of those releases this past Sunday. So that's an episode that we put out recently. And there was some interesting info that I hadn't heard. So in Graham Cuth's My Music podcast, Steve mentioned that in October there will be vinyl EP and downloads titled Signals Cross. And if I remember correctly, I think that might have been the working title for the Portraits of Bob Dylan album. But anyway, Steve said this includes 3 tracks that didn't make it onto Portraits of Bob Dylan, but one of them is the first Bob Dylan song that didn't go on the album, but was the first that he sung. It's in a different style arrangement. So this makes me wonder if this is the, I believe the Hattie Carroll song. Dad and I talked about this on the review episode. There was a song that he saw someone else do, and it was like he did it in a bombastic fashion and then saw someone else do it and then wasn't sure about it. So I do wonder if maybe it was that song. So I guess we'll have to see. It very well could be something very different. I think it might have been the Hattie Carroll song that was, but maybe it's something else. But yeah, so I'm very curious to see what this EP has. If it'll still make the October release period like he mentioned. There hasn't been a press release announcement yet, so I guess we'll see when that comes out. And he also mentioned that he finished an album that will be out next year, so that's very exciting. And that there are also several more releases in his solo back catalog that could potentially see a re-release through his House Sounds label, which he put out these two most recent ones, Portraits and Natural. And I believe Guitarscape also on that label. It might have been. So it kind of feels like the pattern is something new, then some archival stuff, then something new. And that's a really nice pattern there, if that is what's going on. And he also mentioned he wants to do more. He wants to get out next year and do a few solo shows. So I guess he would have to figure out when to do that in between all the Yes stuff that might be going on. There was also a Jeff Downs interview with our good friend Joe Cass of Total Mass Retain. And it was a really cool conversation to watch. They talked about Yes, Asia, and even Downs Braid Association. So Jeff said in this interview that Downs Braid Association's 6th album will be out next year. So I guess next year we'll see 3 different releases from him and these different bands. And he also said he hopes that the Yes album could come out in early spring, but could come out later. So my prediction is we'll probably get the Yes album first, and then maybe DBA in the summer, and then Asia in the autumn. Or I suppose those last 2 could be flipped somehow, but I remember reading somewhere that they may have just started recording the new Asia album, but I couldn't find a concrete source like to verify that. But in either case, I'm excited about all three of these releases. New Yes, where could they go from Mirror to the Sky? What's the next step for them? Asia, with this lineup that is pretty solid, carrying the torch, continuing the tradition, the music, and Downs Braid Association. I really do think is kind of the unexpected, um, surprise when it comes to music. Fans of Yes and Asia might be somewhat familiar with it. People outside that bubble, maybe not so much, but there's some really great material from Downs Braid Association. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of what that duo puts out. So great interviews that happened recently. And this next item, Shine Delirious, a California Yes tribute band, have a show coming up in Vallejo, California on September 27th. So go to their Facebook page and check out the link to where you can get the tickets to that show. It's very much further north from me. If they ever play anywhere closer to me, I'd be very curious to see what they're like in person. And meanwhile, Miguel Bass has continued posting his Yes covers, version of Tempest Fugit recently, and I think maybe Gates of Delirium, unless that was further back. But yeah, keep up the good work, Miguel. He also shared a post of a transcription by Simon Gilman of Rhythm of Love, and he says it uses the low A on the 5-string bass. Chris recorded the whole of Big Generator with his custom red 5-string made by Mike Tobias. All right, now we get to one of the bigger news items here, and this is Yes's official announcement of the upcoming UK dates. So as a refresher, they have the US Fragile Tour happening October through November. I already have my ticket, so very excited for that. But in the UK, I believe this is April through May. Yeah, they'll be touring the UK. So I'll just go ahead and read this press release. Yes will return to the UK for a 9-date trek across the country starting on the 22nd of April at the Royal Concert Hall in Glasgow and ending with a 2-night run at the prestigious Palladium in London on the 3rd and 4th of May. The tour will see Yes performing their 1971 classic album Fragile in its entirety, as well as a selection of songs from right across their illustrious catalog, from their legendary 70s releases right up to their current album Mirror to the Sky. And just taking a break from that press release, I really do hope they play some of the more recent songs. I think that would be a great surprise. There's great material on there. Just show how proud you are of that material, the title track and Circles of Time, those will be great to see all connected. But we'll see what ends up happening. And this isn't just my hope for these UK dates. I hope for the US dates as well, because those are the ones I'm going to. But yeah, so this continues basically talking about the history of Fragile and accolades, and includes a quote from Steve about the album. And artist pre-sales started yesterday. Tickets go on general sale tomorrow, Friday, September 19th, 10 a.m. at yesworld.com/live. So yeah, apparently this is their first time in the UK since 2024, I believe. So it'll have been 2 years. So yeah, that should be fun. I do wonder if they'll also go to Europe after that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But over on yesworld.com, they have apparently a new official Yes store. And there's this graphic in their post that said, sign up to save 10% off your first order. Shop now at yesworld.com/store. And we can go ahead and take a look at the store, see what's available. So let me just share my screen, and also make sure that this is the correct page. Yeah, it is. Okay, so share screen, and it's this window here. Okay, so you should be seeing that window now. All right, so they have these shirts. You got Tails themed one. Well, looks like a Prodigy themed one. There's a Yes Songs one, and there are these variations that have just the logo. There's a hoodie there. Under vinyl, they've got Progeny, 7 shows from 72, and that's at $500. Wow. Live at the Rainbow LP is almost $60. Got Yes Singles and Yes Singles 2. Yale Bowl 71 is around $25. And you've got classics like the Yes album and the Steven Wilson remixes of that and Fragile. Got the Yes 50 Live 4 LP, Drama, Tales, the 2 LP 180 gram vinyl, Fragile Super Deluxe, which includes LP, 4 CD, and Blu-ray disc. And under CDs, they have 90125, Close to the Edge, the Yes album, and Classic Yes. They specify that 90125 and Close to the Edge are expanded or remastered. So I guess maybe the Yes album one just has the normal track list without bonus tracks. I don't know. So that's what's available in the Yes store. And the same day that was announced, we also got... Oh, I see my mom is chiming in saying hi. Hi, Mom. We also got the pretty much the same announcement for the Asia store. Yeah, there actually is like a US one and like a European one. Okay, yeah, one is UK/European, and I think there are slight differences. Let me show you what the American store has. And if you go to the original Asia website and go to the store section, you'll find either of these. So let me go to... Is this the US one? Yeah, I believe it is. Okay, so got the current lineup there. There's these Asia shirts. That tie-dye dragon one, the yellowish one, really pops out. These are $40 each. You got Phoenix, the original Asia dragon, and the logos. For the CDs, you have the self-titled album, the definitive collection, and 35th anniversary collection tour edition CD. Each of these are $10. I've never listened to the 35th anniversary collection tour edition CD, but I believe that includes live tracks from the Asia reunion era. You got accessories here like the black logo dad cap at $25, the Asia keychain at $5. You got one with the first album cover, the one with the alpha cover. You got the Asia can cooler that is $10. On one side it says Asia, the other side says Heat of the Moment Tour. Got the Asia guitar pick with the logo on that. And let's look at the UK European store. Let's see what they have. And yeah, so it would be this one. All right, so you got some different shirts here. Very much more of the theme of the first album. And you got a button down here with the Asia logo. It's really small there. It's in like the top... Well, if you're wearing it, it would be like your top left view. For CDs, they have that 35th anniversary one as well at $30. But you got the Axis XXX Live in San Francisco CD DVD set at $97. the official live bootlegs 10 CD set at 74. That came out within the last few years, I believe. In the reunion albums 2007 to 2012 5 CD set. So there's that reunion era. There's a view all button. Got the Omega Tour Live 2 CD Picture House Edinburgh at $30. Wait, what's... Oh, this other one, it looks the same, but says House London. This one is sold out. The Phoenix Tour Live in Cambridge 2009, also $30. Yeah, I wonder if they'll restock that in the near future. Under vinyl, they have Fantasia Live in Tokyo. The video of that was my introduction to Asia. Got the Gravitas vinyl. That's her most recent studio album. Great album. Heat of the Moment Live in Tokyo 2007 vinyl. Live at the Budokan Tokyo 1983 box set. I've got that already. See if you click view all. You also get Symphonia Live in Bulgaria 2013 vinyl 2 LP. Get blue and yellow. And you can also get it in black. Each of those are $49. Under accessories, you got the Asia cap. Looks like that's a Phoenix Asia logo. That's $49. The Tiger bandana at $24. And the Tiger mug at $30. Tiger tote bag at $24. And those, of course, reference the Omega album, the second reunion album. And also got the Trading Boundaries poster A3 signed. $51. So this would have been from those April 2025 shows where they played the first 3 albums material. And the unsigned one is $30. So yeah, interesting stuff. There's some tempting stuff here. I don't know how much I can acquire at the moment, but man, there's some real great stuff here. And I also saw some news about Jon Mitchell, who, of course, is in the current Asia lineup. Let me see if I can get to that real quick. Yeah, I meant to put it on my list of news items, but it's... maybe if I type that in, it will come up. Okay, so Jon Mitchell, guitarist with Asia and mainstay with Lonely Robot, has announced a one-off solo UK show for December when he'll play Dingwalls in Camden Lock in London on December 18th. He'll be backed by a band featuring his Frost bandmate, drummer Craig Blundell, Dim Gray's Oscar Holdorf, and Jez Fielder, who fans will know from Mitchell's acoustic and evening with shows. The show will feature a hand-picked set list spanning Mitchell's career. Expect fan favorites from Lonely Robot, It Bites, Frost, and Kino. So that should be a really fun show. I saw one of his performances in one of the Prog Stock streams, and he's got a really good sense of humor. And we've had him on the show along with Harry Whitley a while back. Next up on the list of news items, we have a limited edition Jon Anderson item. And this is... this is listed as an autographed limited edition Jon Anderson live perpetual change turntable. And I remember seeing comments from people debating on, the name of the thing and what it is. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you how it looks. Actually, let me do it this way. And it's got the cover art of that live perpetual change release that he did with the Band Geeks. Okay, so that's how it looks like there, and it's about $300. So in collaboration with Stuck-on Decoupage is proud. Jon Anderson is proud to offer you a chance to purchase this limited edition autographed decoupage turntable honoring the live Perpetual Change album. Each turntable will be autographed by Jon Anderson, numbered and signed by the artist. And every or it says artists, so I wonder if that is it just Jon or is it the Band Geeks as well? I don't know. Every turntable is hand decoupaged and coated in a high gloss finish. Each one will be a true one-of-a-kind piece. This is a pre-order, and turntables will begin shipping the week of October 20th. This Victrola suitcase-style turntable has been transformed into the ultimate collector's piece. Has been... Okay, yeah, it says hand autographed by Jon Anderson. You got the turntable details there. And yeah, I'll go ahead and show you how this looks close up. Here's Jon holding it and signing it. And here's a different angle of it. Oh, there you got the Band Geeks there. You got... Yeah, this will be the lineup that's on that album. And this is how it looks like when it's opened up, and you have that on it. So, yeah, it's there if people want it. Maybe aesthetically people will like how this looks and want it in their collection. With all this stuff that gets put out in the music world, you kind of have to pick and choose what items you want. All right, so what else have we got here? It was Andy Graziano's birthday earlier this week, and he did like a live stream of him playing guitar. I don't remember if it was on his birthday, but yeah, it was really fun seeing him play. Billy Sherwood posted this week that he is tracking drums for a project, and this is with solo artist Josh Gill. And he says, "We met in London, sounding very cool indeed. Love playing drums." So really cool that Billy's doing more work. We're so used to thinking of him on bass and even and guitar as well, but yeah, he can play drums too. XOX Xeno, of course, is a project that Billy was also involved in, and it had Jay Shellen and Patrick Moraz, and I interviewed Craig Marr of that project back in July, and this post came out recently from XOX Xeno saying, "We're thrilled to announce that Luminous Voyage," that's the name of the album, "is now officially available on 180-gram vinyl. Choose between two stunning editions, Flight and Infinity," and those are the two different covers. Each edition comes with a full lyric inner sleeve designed by Craig Marr, a nostalgic touch that harks back to the golden age of vinyl. So you can check that out at, if you go to the XOX Xeno website, you can check that out at the store. And speaking of Patrick Moraz, Michael Franklin, a producer who's worked with Patrick and also on Jon Anderson's 1000 Hands, shared a throwback clip of Patrick playing keys. I believe it might have been Windows of Time or something from that album. But yeah, looking forward to whatever else might come from Patrick Moraz. And Rick Wakeman posted Sitting at the Window, and that's a track from his new upcoming album, Melancholia. So on his YouTube channel, there's a video of him like actually playing it, and I'll go ahead and show you the over at Rick Wakeman's musicemporium.com, there's all this Melancholia merch, and I believe this, let me just, I'll screen share that. So again, there's a bunch of different store items to talk about this time around. So you got a drink bottle, mug, a bag, notebook. There's a jigsaw puzzle. There's a bunch of stuff here, so I might not be able to name all of them. It's a coaster. A signed test pressing, which is sold out. You can pre-order the CD DVD for $20, the signed version of the CD DVD for $45, and a signed silver vinyl for $75. And I guess unsigned is $30. Why is this one $25? Oh, maybe it's because, yeah, this one's silver and the $25 one is not silver. We got the CD for $20. So yeah, the piece of music was very beautiful, very melodic. And this comes out on, I believe, in October. Let me just double check that. Okay, might need to check over here. Let's see, Melancholia. Yeah, it's coming out October 17th. And on Rick Wakeman's podcast, The Myths and Legends of Rick Wakeman, the most recent episode, he talked about Ozzy Osbourne, looking back on how Ozzy was as a person, and similar to what he did with in the Dave Cousins episode. And really glad that he took the time to talk about these amazing musicians who are no longer with us. And there was also the announcement of the Wakeman and Son tour with Rick's son Oliver for March 2026 on the East Coast of the USA. This tour replaces the postponed Strictly Wakeman tour, and tickets to the same venues are still valid for the new dates. Where it has not been possible to reschedule, either refunds have already been made, or please contact your place of purchase at rwcc.com/live.php. And it includes like # Wakeman and Son. And initially I misread that as, or maybe this is a hashtag in the post that I looked at. But yeah, when I saw Wakeman and Son at first, I misread it as Wakeman Anderson. But anywho, so yeah, this is really exciting that Rick and Oliver are going to be touring together, and these are US East Coast dates. I'll go ahead and show you on the screen here. I do hope that maybe this is a big ask, but it would be cool if this also goes to the West Coast. But yeah, it begins March 11th, 2026 in Ridgefield, Connecticut. And it goes through a few other East Coast states up until March 29th, ending at Red Bank, New Jersey. So hoping they at least make a video and put out a DVD and Blu-ray of it. That would be really cool. Oliver has not done like a tour like this with Rick. I believe Adam has, but the whole Wakeman and Wakeman thing. But yeah, I'm really jazzed to see like how this could turn out. All right, so the last thing here is a little Oliver Wakeman roundup. So I'm just gonna mention what Oliver has posted on his Facebook page, and you can check all these out over on his Facebook page. He does a better job of explaining what all these bits of memorabilia are. But yeah, this is basically since the last time I did a news desk, and he's been doing a lot of awesome posts. So he found Rick Wakeman's Return to the Center of the Earth record in his garage. He also posted about a couple rare vinyls, which his nan gave him before she passed away. They are White Rock and he believes No Earthly Connection white labels, the pre-manufacturing test pressings. And he really likes both and thinks that No Earthly Connection is his favorite of his dad's. Picture from November 27th, 1999 of him with Martin Hudson, who ran the Classic Rock Society, Steve Hackett of Genesis, and Peter Banks, the original Yes guitarist. I'll actually show you that one in a moment after I read off about these other ones. Okay, so scrolling further, he posted about something Styx related. It's a transparent 12-inch picture disc of the track Love is the Ritual. And he mentions, loving the Edge of the Century album by them. Let's see, the announcement of the Wakeman Son tour. A poster from a Yes show in Ryman back in 2008. And he says, I remember almost getting run over just before the show when someone came the wrong way up a one-way street. I only didn't get hit because my friend Al pulled me back out of the car's path. Well, he also mentioned a couple weeks ago, so I don't know if this is still the case, but that Burning Shed were out of stock of the Onam Kara records, so people could check that out at Cherry Red in the meantime. He also found pics from the O2 show back in 2016 when he played with Rick for the premiere of his updated King Arthur album. A photo of a solo show as part of Rodney Matthews' art exhibition. And he also posted a video of himself talking about the Moog Little Fatty and his involvement in solo tours and on tour with Yes. Photo from an informal meeting with Rodney Matthews, Jeff Sheets, and himself through some of the recordings for the Trinity album they did together. And next we have looks like another record. A test pressing of Forever by the Strawps. There's no B-side, it's just plain with no grooves. Interesting. He says, I think he signed it for me back in 1994 when I was helping him during his tenure running Lantern Radio in Devon. And he also posted a picture of test pressing of Warning Man from Rick Wakeman's No Earthly Connection. And he says this one has the Spaceman on the B side. He also said, I now know that a lot of you agree that this is one of Dad's best works, although I also know that a lot of you disagree with me. Yeah, that's the nature of fandom. People have their own different tastes. And he posts about Styx again, showing a picture disc of Don't Let It End from the Kilroy Was Here album. He says, I came to Styx in my late teens, and so this was just part of the back catalog, so I thought it was great. I should listen to more Styx. I think I've listened to at least their first few albums, and Dad mentioned that their recent stuff was great, so... but anyway, Oliver also posted a behind-the-scenes photo with Rick. This was at the Mile of Roses charity concert. And he posted a 7-inch picture disc from Rick Wakeman's Rhapsodies album. Another bit of Straub's memorabilia, a poster from a concert he did with a band in Verona, Italy, 2009. And a single, Catherine, from Rick's Six Wives album with Anne on the B-side, or is it the other way around, he says, signed by Rick, Steve, Bill, and Dave Cousins. Let's see, how many more of these have we got? Is this fun to listen to, just me listing what he's posted? Like, does that at least pique your curiosity to go and see what these things are? I see in the comments, Wu says, will Jon Anderson tour in 2026? I would assume so, but there's been no official announcement yet that I'm aware of. Um, I think, it could be a little while before we hear something official. So I guess we'll keep our eyes peeled. But Oliver also posted a flexi disc sample of 3 tracks from Rick's soundtrack to Ken Russell's film Listomania. A picture of him and Rick during rehearsals from Mile of Roses. A shot of Oliver's band from 2006 or 2007, Point for Classic Rock Society, with Paul Manzi, David Mark Pierce, Paul Brown, and Dave Wagstaff. And he included a video link there. The track Spider by Rick Wakeman. I guess that's another single. And he posted a photo from when he was interviewed for the upcoming Straubs film. And I did comment asking when we can expect it to be released. And he says he's not sure, but he'll ask about it. So hopefully we can, get a... Sorry, I was responding to a message. Get an update on that in the near future, because it's been a little while since we last heard about that documentary. And with Dave Cousins passing, I do wonder if maybe there would be an added retrospective epilogue type thing at the end with Dave's friends looking back on him and his life. I think that would be a nice touch. Let's see, birthday post for his wife. It's very, very nice. Apparently they watched The Rise of Skywalker together, which his wife hadn't seen. And that movie, it's middle of the road to me personally. I think there are some nice emotional moments, but there are also some very messy moments. I'm very, very deep into Star Wars fandom, and there are some really annoying Star Wars fans who take things too far, but I do have some, I would say, reasonable criticisms about the film, but also some things I really like about it. So there you go. That's Star Wars. But getting back to Oliver's stuff, he also posted, the Rick Wakeman single, I'm So Straight, I'm a Weirdo. Yeah, that's a strange sounding song. You can find a music video of it on YouTube, I think. Another photo taken from the Straubs 40th anniversary concert on September 13th, 2009. This was at the end of the concert when they performed Where Silent Shadows Fall. And he says this was special because he put together the keyboard orchestrations for the album, and Robert used his score as a basis for the live arrangement. Nice. Getting back to It Bites, he posted a picture of Eat Me in St. Louis, that record. Let's see, I think we're almost done here. He posted a picture of a single of Rick's theme from Goal. I'm not really familiar with that. Let's see. He says, I'm currently trying to confirm the UK dates for my own band in April, which will happen pretty much when I get back from the tour with Rick. He says, this also gives me a chance to post a picture of the rig I used for the headline slot for Winter's End last year. It's a nice picture there. And another something else from his garage, Custer's Last Stand, taken from the Time Machine album by Rick. And finally, the most recent thing, he said he went to the cinema to see Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. So yeah, I'm not sure that I'll be able to catch that in the theater, but I am curious about it. But anyway, comment, your camera jumps slightly. Yeah, sorry, it's because I have my laptop like Right, it's not on a table, so it's like on the, yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, that's all for now, and I might jump on here for something else within the next few days, and then there's a record I'll be talking about on the 23rd. That would be Virgil and Steve Howe's Nexus, which I finally got the LP of after all these years. I'd had the CD, now I got the LP. So yeah, and I'll post about all this stuff. But thanks for following the channel at Yesshift, and hopefully this was a fun news episode, and we'll see you all soon.